Welcome to Grassie Christian Preschool. My name is Melanie Falvis, and I'm the director and founder of Your Preschools, Inc. We have 4 locations of our Montessori preschools, and today we're going to explore our Grassie location. Located on Mud Street, we serve families from Stony Creek, Hamilton, Grimsby, Grassie, Caister, and many other areas. This is one of our largest classrooms. We actually have space for 24 students with 3 educators. Having 24 children in one room can be a lot of fun, and it can be a lot of noise. So recently we've decided to break into pods at our Grassie location. We have 3 educators that have 8 students in each pod, keeping with our 1:8 ratio. We also have a support staff, and she follows around in the pods or floats between them. At our Grassie location, like our others, we have a licensed outdoor space, so it has a fenced-in area for the children to explore nature and many outdoor toys. We also have a large classroom, we have a cubby area, we have a few washrooms, and we have a special area where we like to do science experiments and art activities. A day in the life of a student at Grassie Christian Preschool has the children doing their jobs. Mummies and daddies have jobs, so all the children have jobs when they're working here. They're doing their jobs, they're having outdoor play, they're having snack, maybe some science experiments, art activities, and they're having lunch. We offer morning and afternoon snack, and then the children are bringing a packed lunch at this time. In the Montessori classroom, we have 5 learning areas. We keep with our 1:8 ratio for our preschool classroom. In Montessori, the preschool classroom is called Casa. And so here you will find children that are preschool age, JK, and SK, all working together. The younger children can learn from the older children, and the older children can be role models for the younger children. I'm going to start by showing you our language area. In this area, you will find a focus on phonetic sounds. The children need to understand the phonetic sound that the letter makes in order to sound them out. So knowing k, a, t will later result in them being able to read the word cat. One of the jobs in our language area are our phonetic sounds. These are made out of sandpaper, so the children are using their fingers to trace them, which is a pre-writing skill. And then we're talking about the sound that the letter makes. So for example, this would be k for cat, we have a for apple, and then we have b for bear. The children are going over this one-on-one with the teacher so that they're building that base, and they're learning that this says b for bear. After that, they're moving on to their printing. Once the child has mastered the majority of the letter sounds, then they're able to move on to blending them together in reading. This is our practical life area. This is one of our 5 learning areas. It might be the most popular, and it's a lot of fun. The purpose of this area is to develop the child's fine motor control. You're going to find things like scoops and tongs. You can find things where they're pouring and where they're putting items into holes or into larger items. This is building their fine motor control that they're going to need later for printing and writing skills. You will find a lot of natural materials. When Maria Montessori developed this method over 100 years ago in Italy, only natural materials were available. So you will see a lot of wood. You will even see some breakable items. And instead of saying the children can't use these, we're showing them how to use them properly and safely. In the math area, we have a focus on numbers. We're learning to identify them. We're learning to count out items to understand quantity. We're following patterns and predicting what would come next in a pattern. And we also, once the children can identify their numbers, move on to a 10 board, a teen board, onto addition, subtraction, in some cases even multiplication and division by the end of senior kindergarten. It really depends on where the child's at and how interested they are in math. We start with our numbers, and we can move all the way through all of our math jobs over the 3-year CASA cycle. We've now arrived at our sensorial area. This is an area where the children are exploring biggest to smallest, longest to shortest, and many other skills. Some of these jobs, such as the red rods, the pink tower, they're too large to be done at the table. So instead of a child taking their job to the table, they roll out a mat. So the child would roll out the mat and put it on the floor, and then carry their job over to this mat. When a child takes a job to the table or to the mat, that's their job. If somebody else wants to do this job, they come along and ask that child. If the child says yes, they do the job together. If the child says no, I'd rather do this job alone, then we tell the other child to wait until that child puts the job away, and then it will be their turn. This cuts down on conflict and shows respect again for the material and for the child. Our cultural area is our last of our 5 learning areas in the Montessori classroom. Cultural has science, geography, and history. History could be, this is what I look like in September, and this is what I look like in June. It's the progression of time. In geography, we talk about our planet and care for our Earth. And then science, we have a lot of hands-on science experiments. All of our sites have a quiet area. Grassie actually has 2. So we have an area here where they might have a large group time. They also might come and read books. And on the flip side, we have some more couches over here when children just want to be alone or want to be with just a few friends and read some books or do some puzzles. At our Montessori schools, we encourage a lot of independence. It starts right when the parents bring the children into the cubby area. The children can then change into indoor shoes, hang up their backpacks and their coats, and then be brought to the classroom. That continues through with our drawers. We have drawers here for children to recognize their name and put their work away. This shows respect for their work, so it's not getting lost or crumpled up. They put their work in here, and every week or so, they bring home all of their work to make a big production at home and be able to show their families what they've been working on at school. Our classrooms offer a unique blend, being 90% Montessori and 10% those other elements of a traditional ECE classroom that you'd see. For instance, we have an art area, we have sensory bins, and we have a provocation shelf. The provocation shelf offers jobs that are of interest to the students right now. Whatever the students are interested in, the teachers are programming for and offering a lot of educational materials based on those interests. Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to know more about our Montessori program and the 5 learning areas, the JKSK program, or see our other classrooms, you can find videos on our Facebook page or our website, yourpreschools.info. Have a great day.